from Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 in all the Filipino shows in the Midwest. And I'm Joe Mauricio. Today we have all the top stories from Chicago and the Philippines. We also have our segment host, Veronica, interesting interviews with Melody Rabor Dizon, our Health Matters host, and Joe Mauricio, myself. And I would like to introduce to you Janet Jordy, our new host from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, introducing her Global Inspirations interviews. We also have happening within our own Filipino community here in Chicago. All these are coming up and more from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine may be the first to be distributed in the Philippines through the COVAX facility, a platform which aims to make vaccines more accessible. The country's vaccine czar Carlito Galvez made the revelation during an interview on ANC's Head Start.
Baka mauna ang Pfizer because the COVAX facility will be deploying the early rollout of Pfizer. So, i-intend namin yan sa February. Katutuwa po kami dahil kasi 20 million people will be benefited from these free vaccines.
Galvez did not say how many doses will be arriving. If ever, this will arrive earlier than the vaccines from Chinese firm Sinovac.
Yung pagbibigay ng Sinovac, we will have 50,000 for February, 950,000 for March, 1 million for April, 1 million for May, and then 2 million for June and 3 million for July, so and so forth.
Sinovac's vaccines will be paid using multilateral funding. And although Galvez did not reveal the cost of the vaccine, he said it was at a good price. The health department said Filipinos should not be concerned about the brand of the vaccine.
Lahat po ng bakuna, katulad po ng sabi ni Secretary Roque, kapag pumasok po sa ating bansa, sisiguraduhin po yan ng ating Food and Drug Administration na ito po ay magiging ligtas at saka magiging epektibo para sa ating mga kababayan. So any kind of vaccine that will come into the country, basta nabigyan na po ng emergency use authorization ng Food and Drug Administration of the Philippines, equal footing na po yan.
While people won't be forced to be vaccinated, they can lose their priority status if they refuse the vaccine offered to them.
Pag hindi po sila sumang-ayon, no, at sinabi nila na hindi muna sila magpapabakuna, ilalagay lang ho sila dun sa bottom list so that the other individuals can receive the vaccine.
Galvez said the first batch of vaccines will be used for a so-called dress rehearsal and will be given to health workers and frontliners, most likely in the National Capital Region. Galvez said 25,000 vaccinators are already undergoing training, and about 100,000 to 200,000 people are targeted to be vaccinated daily. The list of recipients is supposed to come from the local government units.
Meron na ho tayo mga pakikipag-ugnayan at meron na ho tayong instructions na nabigay sa kanila for submitting this specific list. Hopefully, bago matapos po ang January, meron na po tayong complete database.
Finance Secretary Sonny Dominguez assured the public there are enough funds to have Filipinos inoculated.
1,300 pesos per individual, you will be able to vaccinate around 57 million people out of the 70 million who are supposed to be vaccinated. That leaves you 13 million. We expect the 13 million to be covered by the LGUs, the private sector, and of course in there are the refusants, okay? The guys who don't believe in vaccination.
A vaccine expert said the Philippines is prepared to monitor possible side effects of COVID-19 vaccines.
Yung tinatawag nating adverse event following immunization, alam mo, in place na yan dito sa ating DOH since 2013. Hindi lahat ng mangyayari pagkatapos mong bakunahan, gawa ng bakuna. Napakaliit lang na porsyento ang sasabihin natin na galing sa bakuna. Yan ang tinitingnan natin.
Recent surveys showed a large number of Filipinos are still undecided or unwilling to be vaccinated. The World Health Organization said this sentiment can still change.
I'd like to draw attention to the fact that the Pulse Asia survey was conducted at the end of November, before the 2nd of December, and that was the time when we did not have emergency use authorization for any of the COVID vaccines.
The WHO said the government will just have to be clear and transparent to the public in explaining that the vaccines will be released under emergency use authorization to curb the spread of COVID-19. Because the vaccines are still under development, authorities will still have to monitor its side effects. There are almost 10 vaccine developers from different countries that are likely to distribute their vaccines in the Philippines. A number of them have high efficacy rates against COVID-19. All can be stored in normal refrigerator temperature except for Pfizer and Moderna. 6 of them, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Gamaleya Institute of Russia, Moderna, Sinovac, and Sinopharm of China, were already given emergency use authorization in other countries. Only Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Gamaleya have applied for emergency use in the Philippines. Philippines FDA plans to decide on the EUA application of Pfizer this week.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show today. I have a very pretty young lady whose name is Jessica Jakosalem Rolla. I've known her for many years, and believe it or not, I'm really amazed at what she has accomplished in her life. Welcome to our show, Jessica. And you're here. Hi. I invited you here today to talk about your business, but we have to say something about your background first. Jessica was past Miss Philippines of Chicago. Wasn't it? You got to show us the picture, the old picture.
Oh, yeah, I'm very humble about it actually, but there it is. It's from, okay, I'll say the year 87, 88, and then I was under you for Chicago's Prettiest Filipinas at the Riviera.
Chicago's Prettiest, one of the Chicago's Prettiest.
One of them, yeah, honorary. I'm very
15 years old, and very, very pretty girl. Now that she's grown up, she owns a business called Peach. What is Peach?
Well, not the owner. I'm just one of 1,000 stylists in the United States, but I don't know if I'm the only Filipino American stylist from what I know, but in Chicago, and it's based out of Boston. And I've been selling as a stylist since just 2017. And I've discovered through the pandemic, it's actually a great thing to do because I could do it virtually as well for women.
And you are a fashion stylist.
Correct.
So for Peach. So what do you really do?
Correct.
For Peach?
Yes, the difference, yeah, I market it, of course, but it's already where they provide the website and I am trained a lot. You probably see me on Facebook a lot, but they do lead me to sell to anybody in the United States. Unfortunately, I can't sell to the Philippines, but I've had the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, you probably know I'm a member, and National Association of Asian American Professionals, NAAP, as well as, of course, you, thank you for helping market it. But of course I sell one-on-one and then on Zoom, I do styling appointments. What makes me different is I don't just want to be part of the whole, just one type of woman. I sell to sizes 0 to 20, which is a lot, 22. So anyone sizes 0 to 22, that's something I really service. And I studied fashion. So I was a graduate of it. And, I do this styling whatever, I do the measurements, all that. And if they're not comfortable doing it, obviously pre-COVID in person, they can do it virtually. I do, one-on-one appointments on FaceTime, whatever. I'm very good with the technology. I had to pivot because of the pandemic. So I found that Peach has been very good about training me on that, from their home office and social media. So it's a great way for me to maintain not just the fashion bonding with women, but helping us all stay together, connected, right?
All right, that's something quite
Yeah.
different these days.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, doing it virtually and doing it
Yes.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's something new for fashion buying.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you like it so far? How are you helping your customers that way?
I feel like, yeah, I've discovered a new market. The shy techie types that work from home, they're not out there, they're also maybe Amazon shoppers that want higher quality. So for instance, like this hoodie, I mean, yeah, you can get it a lot cheaper at Amazon, but there's more quality. There's more eco-friendly fabrics. People that run gyms. Yeah, before the pandemic, I was going to the gyms and showing it, but virtually, people are still working out. They still need to be comfortable. The fabrics are very soft. And then there's dresses. There's fake leather, faux leather is a better way of saying that. If you still want to dress up, I have such a variety, but I really pinpoint on the woman, like, what does she do? And all of us, let's face it, Dita, you're doing the same thing virtually. What do you really need? You need comfort, right? So
Okay, when you say virtually, oh, you just like us right now, it's virtual, right?
yeah,
And
yeah, sure.
if I'm a customer and I'm interested in just like in one of your clothes hanging there,
Sure.
so how would you how would I how are we going to proceed in fitting it and buying and
Yeah.
how would I how would I fit into those clothes? I mean, how are you going to take my measurement?
Well, obviously, we would have you have a tape measure from home. And then if you're comfortable with me in a face mask, I'm in a face mask week, I can do it in person. I ask a lot of questions, obviously, with our interactions. I have done that. And being in Illinois, it was a little bit harder because of the lockdown, but I have my client get a tape measure before we go on the Zoom or FaceTime. If they don't meet me in person carefully, or do the social distancing in my showroom in Edgewater. But I'm really good about teaching people. So, I show them the bust, the waist, the hip, whatever measurement, the inseam. I'm very specific. And I do share the screen of my website. We could do that now, but my whole point is I'm very detailed. I have to measure with them. They have to have the tape measure. I have a tape measure, and I'm a visual learner like you, probably because you have to see it, right? If you want to touch the fabric, I could send it to you, or you could drop it off. It's a sample. I do my best to really listen to what the client wants. So if they really are, you're like a lot of women, you want to actually feel it. Sure, I'll send it to you, or we can arrange a one-on-one in person. It's basically Illinois.
Yeah, Jessica, is that the current trend in buying clothes for women these days?
I think it's been that way for, I'd say, millennials or anyone over 30 to 40 years old. I mean, I know my mom, she wants me to physically go there, or somebody I trust, or we talk about the medical stuff. Unless you're an essential worker, and yeah, most women do not want to go in a store in Illinois. We're not in tier 2 yet. We're in tier 3, right, with COVID. I think a lot of people have they're going to do it virtually, and they're going to do the sizing. I'm very good about, I never get returns as much. I get exchanges, that's okay. But I'm pretty good about listening to fit, and then obviously fabric, but it's not like there's no charge for that. But I try not to have returns because I know how to fit the client, and it's not a trend. It's actually been going on for a long time now. Yeah, because I was a customer like that, where I know other brands, they don't do it that well as I do. And that's the competition where I feel like I give the attention to the ladies. I do it carefully.
It's really quite like custom made, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
customizing it for your clients, right?
For sure. And for me, Tita, I feel like if I only have even 5 ladies that are repeat clients, I'd rather do that than mass market myself to, I don't have to be the top stylist.
So
You know what I mean?
you have some helpers who would fix clothes for your customers?
Not really. I'm independent. I'd prefer it that way because this is a part-time job. I'm a tutor during the week. So I don't know if you knew that I've already been teaching so long, models and actors, but I just wanted to help the average woman. I'm getting older. We're all getting older. I found a niche in just, even pre-COVID, just the average woman that has to do so much for her family, or maybe she's single or whatever status. We're all too busy to do too much, but the custom, yes, comes into fit. And then making it easier, because most women that do spend money on online shopping, they don't have time. So I'm that person. I want to give that service. Yes.
My question is, all right, I'm a customer, just
Right.
like right now. I
Sure.
like that blouse that's hanging, the black blouse that's hanging in there. And if
Yeah.
if I want it in different colors,
Sure.
how would how would you be able to deliver to me a different color blouse?
Well, I understand your point, Dita, but you
But,
have to look at the website. So if I share the screen, you had to share the screen with me. I would host a virtual event. If you really want to see the colors, it's on the website. They have all the choices, all the sizes. And if you actually want a sample, yeah, I could send it to you, or you'd have to order at least one color. Do you know what I mean? But there's a color wheel. Most women really, what they see is what they get. And I would be that stylist that says, no, like, I know what you're saying. That green doesn't look like how it looks like in the catalog or the website, because I get the trainings from corporate in Boston. So I know what it's like way before you do.
Okay.
Like, I know how, and I get what you're saying. I would definitely offer. Yeah. I offer that sample.
How about your prices? The prices, are you
They're
reasonable?
moderate. What do you call reasonable? Yeah, you're going to be paying a little bit more than an outlet, but you're not going to be compromising with the quality. You're not I'm not naming brands. I love everybody. So you have to understand, if you want a strategic like price or exact, I'd say, believe it or not, to me, moderate is what, $15 to nothing is over $130 normally. So that's not bad. You're not paying for like high end. It's not that upscale or you can't afford it, but it's not an outlet either. Yeah. It's elevated athleisure.
Are you an exclusive marketer or distributor of each?
I'm a stylist. I'm an independent stylist.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So where is is that being manufactured here in the US?
Yeah, some of the fabrics. Yeah, the head designer on the website, and I'm going to actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but my website is www.discoverpeach.com/small/Jessica R. There's a whole history of the company. Daniela Bascunan, she's European American. They do source out fabrics. Some of them have been from out of the country, but they do work with an American shipping, office by Boston. It's in Massachusetts, and everything ships from there. So I don't carry the inventory. I just have my own samples. So,
okay, Jessica, can you give
yes, ma'am,
some fashion tips and being a fashion stylist? Give them some fashion tips.
I don't believe in that women should have to think that they have to dress their age. I think I'm an example that you're an example of that, especially Filipino women in Chicago, because I think we don't age fast. So I believe that you should dress to your size more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to show an example. Like, if I'm wearing this, I'm a,
like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to wear, believe it or not, I don't like to dress provocative. I work with children. I want to be conservative, but this is a fun print. So it's comfortable. So comfort is something that most women that I'm relating to lately, especially with the pandemic, and some of us gained weight over COVID. If you're in between sizes, I believe in fit, but you don't have to always wear tight clothes, unless you're going out with a little black dress. most of us are sitting during the Zoom, right? So yeah, dressing for fit and comfort, really.
Yes, I noticed that. Also, you're also doing it for kids, for
Mhm.
kids, for women and men.
I would say for men, I actually sold some water bottles, and this is for men too. This is a new gunmetal, and it was coming in white, but this is brand new. And then during the COVID too, the masks, these are reversible,
Oh yeah.
and I had a rehab center order this, and it goes to essential workers. So men also support Peach. A lot of there's genderless items, accessories, and I've donated also to some groups. But yeah, it's mostly women. But yeah, there are some men that do get the accessories.
You mentioned donating. Where do you donate? What charity?
Well, Peach also, yeah, Peach, the brand also collaborates with nonprofits like No Kid Hungry, donated 130,000 meals to families with children that needed it over COVID. It's all about female entrepreneurship. So some of the accessories you see under my website, like So Young brands, they were lunch totes. Let me just show you. Like this. And yeah, they also had proceeds donating for the female entrepreneurs that designed it. Yeah.
All right. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yes. There's a lot of giving back to the community. Yes. And
you sound to me like what you're doing is really giving you so much joy.
Yeah.
You know, just like helping yourself, helping other people, and also helping the poor people out there through your donations. All right, very good. Congratulations with what you're doing. And one last word before we sign off. Where can our viewers reach you?
well, they can always reach me on most of the social media under Jessica Jakosalem Rolla. I'm very easy to reach. I'm pretty much on all LinkedIn.com, Facebook, Instagram is my Cheeky Jess. I don't know if you know, Cheeky was my Filipino nickname. So everyone can find me. I'm not, you know me, I'm not shy, but I do have to work by appointment, usually weekends and evenings, and under my website again at discoverpeach.com/s/Jessica R. And I'm just there for you.
All right. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat, Jessica. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very pretty young lady. She's only 17 years old and she's here because she's a very multi-talented, very smart lady that I'm so impressed. That's why I invited her here. And her name is Nichole Rivas. I've known Nichole in the family for a long time. And Nichole, welcome to our show today. And you are now, what, 17 years old and she speaks Tagalog. Marunong ka mag-Tagalog, Nichole, right?
Opo, but I speak more English than Tagalog.
Okay. All right. Well, I invited you here today because you won some kind of award for your photographic artistry. And okay, first thing, introduce yourself to our viewing audience first.
Hi po, I'm Nichole Rivas. I'm 17-year-old senior at George Westinghouse College Prep.
You have been involved in your school with some multiple projects, and maybe you can tell us about the project that you've done in photography, and we'll show some of your works here.
Okay, I am part of Freshland Chicago. It's a high school teenager photography program that helps gives kids lessons for photography. And when I joined in 2019, I was able to showcase my work in galleries and the Wood Walk of Art. And now I have my photos in a gallery in downtown.
Okay, okay, do you have some words that you can show on our screen right now?
Yes. This photo is called Spotlight because of how the sun reflects onto the flower here. This photo is called Little Helpers because of the little bee on the flower. And this photo is called Beautiful Dream.
All right, very good, Nichole. Those are your award-winning photos, and you won prizes for those when you entered the contest, right? Yeah.
And we put it into our advanced program book for all the advanced students.
Okay, very good. Congratulations, Nichole. And are you going to, from here on, are you going to be pursuing your photographic interest?
Yes, I plan to go on with photography, but I also plan to study nursing in college. I will be pursuing a nursing major to become a registered pediatric nurse, and go on with my studies to become a nurse practitioner in the future.
You are a very smart girl. And where do you get your inspiration with all the things that you're doing?
I get inspiration from everything around me. So many of my photos are places that my family goes to, especially like the pictures I've taken in nature. And those photos were taken on like family trips during quarantines. Because of social distancing, we couldn't really go to many places.
Word of advice to some students out there who would like to pursue something like you, not just photography or some other interest. Word of advice from Nichole Rivas.
Advice that I have is that you should always keep going with what you are passionate about. Be what you feel is good in your heart, and it will make you happy in your life.
Very good. You're a very good girl and a very good student. Your mom whose name is Rivas, is a very good friend of ours, is always proud of you and your siblings. Very good. Congratulations to you, Nichole. And thank you for gracing our show today. Maraming salamat. Can you say maraming salamat, Nichole?
Maraming salamat po.
See, she can even say it with po. A very polite girl, and thank you so much. Regards to everybody in the family, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Objective Leaders portion of the show. And I'm Joe Mauricio. I'm delighted to interview a fascinating personality in our community. She is a popular ViaTimes columnist and also a very active young leader in our community.
Miss Lou Cabalona. How are you, Lou?
Hello, everybody, watchers of CPR TV. I'm happy to be here on the other side of the stage today, Joe.
Yeah. And how are you coping with this COVID thing, with the pandemic?
You know, well, after almost it's almost a year.
Almost.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten used to working from home, being there, and then of course having having had COVID at the early stages too. Back in April, it makes you rethink life, and you
Yeah.
see this pandemic in definitely a different light. But we're very happy to have gotten past it, both my husband and I.
Oh my God, you survived. You're a survivor. So you
That's
have
right.
that immunity now, natural immunity to COVID, right?
Yes, I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. And so far, everything's been just gone up from that down point, so we're good.
Hey, by the way, congratulations as a new president, PhilPro. What's that thing? Hey, aren't you glad to hear that people in PhilPro are looking up to Lou Maningas?
Um, I think, I think more than the prestige, I would say, I think of it as an opportunity to bring about better changes for the org. As you probably already know, like I've been with PhilPro since I
Indeed.
was first selected as part of the delegates themselves on our very first year in 2012. So it's been a while. We will be celebrating our 10th anniversary already next year.
Really? Already?
Right, yes.
Oh
And
my.
so with all the I've seen the changes of PhilPro from year one, and I really feel that that there's been so much progress, but we can build up more on it. Even we can have bigger dreams and aspirations for PhilPro, and I'm hopeful that I can be a part of it. I can contribute in doing so.
What's the mission of the PhilPro? Tell me more about PhilPro. Yeah.
So it's actually cool that you asked, Joe, because we just finished our strategic planning for PhilPro last year. That was one of the things that I was keen on um, looking back at. Like we, as an organization, have been here for 5 years as a not-for-profit, and I think one of the things that we have not solidified is having a mission for PhilPro. And so last year, it became one of my priorities to include that in our strategic planning to identify what it is that we do as an organization. And in a nutshell, in a nutshell, PhilPro is a network of young Filipino American leaders, young Filipino leaders that are already helping the Philippines and the Filipino people through their expertise and advocacies. We've got lawyers, we've got people in government, we've got social entrepreneurs, we've got folks in tech that are bridging businesses in between the Philippines and the USA. We have scientists, accountants, teachers, nurses, doctors. So it's really all um, industries and expertise. And what binds us is the fact that we are all impassioned to create a pipeline of future leaders. We, after having gone through the immersion itself, want to support having more leaders go through the transformational experience that they've had by being part of the immersion program in the Philippines. And I think this is the new thing that we added last year. Um, and it's really solidifying the commitment to help the alumni create projects, support their advocacies that help the status the socioeconomic status of the Philippines and the Filipino as a whole in our global community. So that's the new thing that we added. Not that we weren't doing it already, but we explicitly stated that that is part of our mission too, is to support each other, complete projects and other initiatives that will help the global Filipino community.
Question: what is the criteria in your selection?
Right.
Yes.
Well, the obvious ones are that you have to be 25 to 40, that's the age range when you apply. By the time the immersion starts, you have to at least be 25 and no more than 40 years old. Right now, our delegates are coming from the USA and in Hawaii and Guam. Um, not, I think there have been discussions of perhaps extending that beyond those geographical borders. But right now, all our alumni are from that area, from US, Hawaii, and Guam. Um, but beyond that, I think the biggest qualifier is that you um, exemplify or you have this inclination to to be of service to the Philippines and the Filipino people wherever you're living. So it's kind of key. It's kind of key for us to know that you're in touch with the community, or at least want to be in touch, and that is clearly stated in our application, where we ask them what their plans are, or kind of like we give them situations that are uh, like challenges in the Philippines and how they propose to kind of help in that manner. So that's how we're looking for the right candidates.
Lou, question is, what? How many alumni do you have?
So there's 84 right now.
80.
It's supposed to have been 85 because for the first 7 years, we had 10 every year. And then last year, we decided to up the number to 15. However, there were just like unavoidable circumstances um, that didn't make this one person go. One other candidate during that time, like there was really some unfortunate event that did not allow the last of the 15 candidates to make it. So therefore, we now are 84 in total.
So beyond 40 years old, as an alumni, are you still a Pilpro member, or
Yes.
is there a cutoff date?
No, by virtue of the fact that we underwent the immersion program, yes, we are part of PhilPro, the organization of
Lifetime.
alumni. I would say alumni of the immersion program.
Okay, can you explain the immersion program, Pilpro's immersion program? What is
Yeah.
it?
So every year we select, and I say we, and by that I really mean the triad of partners. That's PhilPro, the non-for-profit organization that is based here in the U.S., the Ayala Foundation Incorporated, which is based in Manila, and the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. So all three partners have been working together since 2012 to select 10 to 15 delegates to bring them to the Philippines for a week-long immersion trip. So they get to go to the Philippines when selected. And the current program that we have right now is really somewhere around 5 days. And for each day, we sectioned it off to be a government day, or a business day, or community social entrepreneurship day, or culture day. So every year we have a slightly unique program just catered to that set of delegates that we have. So it's a really good experience for folks, especially for folks who have never been to the Philippines, and the majority of the people who are part of PhilPro um, have not ever been to the Philippines by the time they actually become part of the program. Or if they have, they were there decades ago, before they could really remember what it was like.
Okay, as a president elect of the Pilpro, what is your plan for the coming years?
Yeah, so unfortunately I only have 1 year. I wish I had more, and that's again, like, I feel that I say now, even if I'm just starting my term, that I wish I had more, because I there's a lot of good things that I'm hoping to implement, and like, sort of like, influence in the organization, given the support, of course, of our board of directors. But the main goal is that we bring about sustainability for the org. Um, I think that's a strong internal goal of the organization, because right now we are still all made up of volunteer officers, volunteer board of directors, volunteer staff. So we do not have any full-time staff right now. So operations, the way we operate, although every year we are able to successfully go through the selection process for PhilPro, we have fundraising events year round. It still is something that is very dependent on the availability of all our volunteers. So sustainability, the ability of the organization to stand on its own, right? To have uh, leaders and personnel that are improving on our programs year after year. I think is the key for us. That's internally. Externally, I'm shooting for, like, I've told some of our folks here, the biggest number of applicants that we've had throughout these 9 years is close to 500 applicants in 1 year.
Wow.
Yes, and I want to go back to that. I want us to have 500 applicants or more this year. So that's why we're really promoting the program. Of course, that's all given that things get better from here and we are actually able to fly safely to the Philippines. So keeping our fingers crossed that the vaccines work and that it just goes uphill from from where we are.
Okay, Lou, in the 10 years of Pilpro existence, what are your main accomplishment in 10 years?
Personally or as a whole?
As a whole,
Yeah. I every year I believe that every firm, every leadership that has come in to serve in PhilPro has added something to organization as a whole. Um, for one, we've been building our structures, and we managed to, just last year, right, to pivot and respond to COVID. PhilPro, the PhilPro leadership, I should say, um, took the initiative to build a COVID task force.
Oh,
And in response to that, we've had several relief programs that were executed here as well as in the Philippines. I believe sometime in May, we were giving out care packages to healthcare workers, and then we also connected with local governments in the Philippines to hand out what they would call in the Philippines ayuda, right? So we kind of also contributed to that, and that's just in response to relief. And then of course there's the biggest um, initiative that we had in cooperation with Booz Allen, where we were granted $25,000 um, to find something that would actually a program that would actually help the communities right now, our community in the U.S. help fight COVID, and we were granted that $25,000, and we built Tayo Help Desk. That's tayohelp.org, tayohelp.com. If you go to that website, it's sort of like a one-stop shop for questions that you have for COVID. That's just 1 year, right? With the year that we pivoted. I think, though, the biggest contribution that PhilPro has given over the years is the fact that every year we are able to produce this high-performing set of leaders who, because they are once again connected back to the Philippines, they have a stronger desire to help the Filipino community, whether it's here in the US or back in the Philippines.
Okay, look like our time is up, and thank you very much for sharing our Sunday win. Hey, congratulations, and I hope you create a bigger and much bigger project for the city of Chicago. Illuminate,
Yep, looking forward to it.
and we will try to help you. Again, this is Joe Mauricio. Thank you very much for sharing your Sunday with us. And again, congratulations, Lou. Mabuhay.
Thank you so much.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po!
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte, Carino, Cueter, bringing you this week's local news from our community. Early this morning, the federal government executed Lisa Montgomery, 52, who was convicted in 2007 of the heinous crime of strangling a mother to death and cutting out the baby she had been carrying. The child survived and is being raised by her father. Before the execution, a judge deemed Lisa Montgomery likely mentally ill and unable to understand the punishment she would receive. Last night, the U.S. Supreme Court cleared the path for the government to execute her. This execution is just the latest in a string of capital punishments carried out by the federal government, after former Attorney General William Barr decided in July 2019 to reverse the moratorium on federal executions that had been in place since 2003. Last year, the federal government executed more people than all 50 states combined. With the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, many call on President Donald Trump to stop these executions, and on President-elect Joseph Biden to reinstate the moratorium on the federal death penalty. The U.S. Department of Commerce and the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, and Tourism of the Kingdom of Bahrain signed a memorandum of understanding to enhance U.S.-Bahrain trade through the establishment of a U.S. trade zone in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The MOU was signed by U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross and the Minister of Industry, Commerce, and Tourism in the Kingdom of Bahrain, H.E. Zayed R. Al-Zayani. The Kingdom of Bahrain has been and continues to be an important strategic and trade partner of the United States, maintaining stability and ensuring the free flow of commerce in the Gulf. The Department of Commerce remains committed to our deep partnership with the Kingdom, said Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. This MOU is but one such example of our mutual commitment and close relationship, and the International Trade Administration is committed to working with the Kingdom of Bahrain toward the realization of this unique free trade zone. The 2021 Happiness Index has been released after research conducted by a leading real estate marketplace revealed the searches for the best state to live in have gone up 120% over the last month. Nebraska sits as the happiest state in the U.S., followed by Iowa, second place, and North Dakota in third place. Unfortunately, West Virginia falls to the bottom of the pile in 50th place, followed closely by Nevada, 49th place, and California, 48th place. The Happiness Index was created by leading real estate marketplace isoldmyhouse.com by analyzing publicly available data on 10 different categories for all 50 states in the U.S. The categories analyzed include crime rates, employment rates, school graduation rates, average life expectancy, sales tax, average annual sunshine, air quality, cost of living, quality of local hospitals, and housing costs. Nebraska tops list of happiest states in America, leaving West Virginia in bottom spot. The top 5 happiest states are Nebraska, Iowa, North Dakota, Kansas, and Maine. And the top 5 unhappiest states are Kentucky, Mississippi, California, Nevada, and West Virginia. The Office of the Illinois State Fire Marshal is joining forces with the Firefighter Cancer Support Network and the International Association of Firefighters to raise awareness about the increased risk of cancer among firefighters. The goal of this campaign is to provide firefighters the necessary tools and guidance to develop life-saving protocols for cancer prevention and to support those with a cancer diagnosis within their departments. Firefighter occupational cancer is the leading cause of line-of-duty deaths in the fire service. In 2019, more than 75% of the names of firefighters added to the IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial Wall of Honor in Colorado Springs, Colorado, were of members who died from occupational cancer. According to a study by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, firefighters face a 9% increase in cancer diagnosis and a 14% increase in cancer-related deaths compared to the general population. While protecting the firefighter during firefighting operations, personal protective equipment, PPE, becomes contaminated. Effective on-scene decontamination can reduce the level of surface polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons by 85% following the incident. The Bureau of Industry and Security in the Department of Commerce added Chinese National Overseas Oil Corporation, CNOOC, to the entity list and Chinese company Skyrizon to the military and user list. Both companies threaten U.S. national security. CNOOC by helping China intimidate neighbors in the South China Sea, and Skyrizon for its capability to develop, produce, or maintain military items such as military aircraft engines. China's reckless and belligerent actions in the South China Sea and its aggressive push to acquire sensitive intellectual property and technology for its militarization efforts are a threat to U.S. national security and the security of the international community, said Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. CNOOC acts as a bully for the People's Liberation Army to intimidate China's neighbors, and the Chinese military continues to benefit from government civil-military fusion policies for malign purposes. Senior citizens having a hard time paying their property taxes can take advantage of a loan program administered by the Cook County Treasurer's Office, Treasurer Maria Papa said today. Seniors whose annual household income is $55,000 or less can apply now for the Senior Citizen Real Estate Tax Deferral Program, which issues loans to cover property tax payments. Many senior citizens are worried about how long they can stay in their homes because they can't afford the taxes, Papa said. This program provides financial relief to seniors, which is especially needed now in the middle of the global pandemic. The loans, which are issued by the state of Illinois, do not have to be repaid until the property is sold or the homeowner dies. A simple interest rate of 6% per year is charged by the state. The maximum loan is $5,000 per year. To qualify, homeowners must be at least 65 years old by June 1st of the year in which the application is made. To apply, download the application from cookcountytreasurer.com. Submit the completed application and copies of the required documents. That's all for today. Thank you for watching the news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
Okay, ready guys? Introducing our new Energy Star certified washer and dryer. Thanks to rebates from ComEd.
Yay! We love rebates! Ay, Daniel, we are famous.
Get used to it. When you use less water and electricity, people notice.
I can get used to that.
So can I.
Take it easy.
Get rebates from ComEd on select Energy Star certified appliances and find even more savings with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. ComEd, powering lives.
Happy birthday to the following people: Wilton Undong, Henya Cabalona, Dr. Edad, Pritz Colcol, Randy Pamilera, John Barber, and lastly, Sally Neubauer. On a sadder note, we would like to extend our condolences to the families of the following departed souls: Tori Batacan, Judy Agnew, and of course our friend Linda Henson. Our condolences, and I hope you rest in peace. Bye.